two cutting-edge AI giants, one decisive showdown. Which one truly stands out? On the left, the insightful conversational Claude. And on the right, the multilingual powerhouse Qwen. We're putting them to the test in real-world scenarios that matter. Intelligence, language skill, creativity, speed, and more. Let's ditch the hype and see how they actually perform. Every category earns points, and at the end, the winner will be clear. And the champion might surprise you. Let's get into it. Might? Okay, check this out. Here's how we're breaking it down. We're comparing these AIs in intelligence and reasoning, multilingual abilities, safety and alignment, how they use the web and tools, and, oh yeah, their whole ecosystem and API vibes. This is going to get interesting. Let's kick off with intelligence and reasoning. Honestly, Claude's like scary good at complex thought and logical problem solving, especially in English, where it just shines. Once in a while, it can slow down with really long or dense stuff, but it's almost never a deal breaker. Now Qwen, that one actually crushes it on technical and coding questions. Super solid logic. The thing is, sometimes it doesn't pick up on the more subtle, nuanced English prompts. So if we're talking who's the deeper thinker, you gotta hand this round to Claude. Moving on to multilingual abilities. Here, the dynamic totally flips. Claude, it's decent with the big global languages, but kinda stumbles with Asian ones, not really its main priority. But Qwen, and here's something cool. It just completely owns this category. If you need Chinese or other Asian languages, Qwen is honestly second to none. The global language coverage is broad, and it's seriously impressive, even if it gets a bit too literal sometimes when translating. So yes, this round is all Qwen. Right? But what about safety and alignment? This is where Claude almost feels overprotective. If you send it anything even close to a sketchy topic, it's like, whoa, full stop. Not always convenient, but if you value responsible, bias-minimized answers, Claude is top of the game. Qwen does follow compliance too, especially for the China market, but it doesn't feel as sophisticated if you're outside Asia. I mean, is too much safety a thing? Maybe, but for most folks, that edge goes to Claude. Okay, quick fun fact. Did you know Qwen is actually taken from the phrase Qianwen, which means 1,000 questions in Chinese? I mean, talk about living up to your name. Let's talk about web and tool use. This is where things get interesting. Honestly, I was surprised. Claude is competent at critically analyzing information, and with the Opus and Sonnet versions, you get some cool integrations for code and data. But live web search? Yeah, that's still a bit limited in real time. Qwen's more plugged into China's digital scene and has APIs for tool use. Maybe not as many English connections, but if you're working in that space, it's pretty robust. I'd call this one a tie. Now for the ecosystem and API side of things. Claude makes things super easy for Slack, Notion, those kinds of integrations, and honestly, it's growing. Just not crazy fast. Still, as of mid-2025, its APIs are a bit closed off, not something every dev can just play with. Qwen, on the other hand, it's like open season. Global API that anyone can access, tons of plugins, especially geared toward China, but pretty flexible worldwide. Productivity in the West isn't its main strength, but honestly, for developers, Qwen just takes it this time. So, looking at all these categories on the radar, there's no single perfect AI here, each one spiking in different areas. Claude's pulling ahead in intelligence, safety, and English workflow. Qwen dominates on language flexibility and dev stuff. It's honestly neck and neck depending on what matters to you. Here's how I see it. If your world is mostly in English, you care about research, or you just want the safest, most reliable answers, Claude's going to be your best bet. But if you're a Chinese speaker, or if you're looking for max flexibility and deep integrations, especially as a developer, Qwen is basically unbeatable. So, which AI are you rooting for? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to follow us for more straight-up, no-nonsense tech face-offs.